Benny and Alex.
Hi, Dan.
What's up, Dan?
I'm pregnant.
Oh, I knew it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of a pivotal point in my life, and I thought it was time to do something that I've thought about doing for a long time, you know?
Like, go to the beach and throw this journal into the ocean.
I was actually to say you're actually very pregnant. I'm
super duper pregnant.
How long ago did you get pregnant?
You know, a couple months, but it's gone really good.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
all right.
It's been a very healthy baby.
You weren't showing for a very long time.
Oh, I think I have been.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, we just didn't notice.
I'm sorry. I'm just,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
You know what also is amazing?
What's that?
The footprints in the sand. The sand, your sand tech is very good,
It's like some of that Uncharted tech. By the way, this is Bound.
Yes, it is.
This is coming out of Sony Santa Monica, and I believe Plastic Studios, a European studio. So this is on PlayStation Network right now, and you play as this pregnant lady. Alex, you've played a little bit, right?
I have. I played for the first couple of stages of this.
So this is kind of the framing thing. Basically, you pull up on this beach with your journal and your pregnant lady, and then you sit on things and reminisce about your life through dreams and modern dance. And
were you a dancer at one point?
this lady?
Yeah.
There's a lot that you just kind of have to extract from the context here. I think maybe dancing was what she did to escape a troubled home life at times. You know, I don't want to spoil too much, but basically all this stuff in the game. Yeah.
Played
So
No Man's Sky.
So each of these pages is a stage in the game.
yeah, and you can go in any order, and it's basically all just like memories from her childhood. But it's like, okay,
But
well,
abstracted.
Yeah, and you kind of figure out like, okay, this one that looks like a queen or whatever with these pearls or whatever, that's probably her mom. And then you'll occasionally see these actual kind of memories form. Where
Right.
you see her actual mom, yelling at her dad and stuff like that. And you can kind of piece together what happened in her upbringing.
There is a seed of evil in all of us that blossoms into a beautiful evil garden. Is that where we're going? Embrace the evil.
And paper airplanes.
And paper airplanes.
You know
The
what
symbol
I
of
like?
evil.
My favorite aesthetic in the world is helmets.
No,
with,
I don't know.
Is helmets with giant glass view screens.
Sure,
Like that's
okay.
what just a helmet that is just all fucking.
You like Daft Punk. I like paper
I
airplanes.
like early Cobra Commander.
Dan is into Creedence Clearwater.
That's true. They had some great helmets.
They did.
Yeah. Fogarty mainly.
So
solo stuff.
this is the basics of the game here. Is that you're in these environments. There's a little bit of like story preamble that kind of comes before them.
Ooh.
But basically, you are this princess, and you are dancing your way through these environments.
I like the way she moves.
That's the thing that struck me about this game is I think I mentioned on the Beastcast that it reminds me of Mario 64, where some of the developers said we wanted to make it fun to just run around and move as the character. And yeah, she's very nimble. She's fun to control. If you hold in R2, the different face buttons do like different dances. If you hit square, it's like a quick dodge. You've got your standard jumps and everything. This is not a hard game. This is not meant to be like a huge platforming challenge. It's definitely telling a story with a little, a little more like game elements than something like, I don't know.
Mario 64.
Hey.
A little more
Mario
game
64
elements
is
than Mario
Ultimate
64.
game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But something like,
Mario 64
Flower
is an
or...
amazing game.
Which one?
Flow.
Flow?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I like from admittedly I haven't finished this, and from what I understand it's just a few hours long, but I would say it's like in the neighborhood of a Journey in terms of like amount of interaction of what you're doing.
Journey had maybe a little more,
right?
I would say, like you can fall to your death in this,
but it's a real quick restart.
Yeah, and like the checkpoints are like if you're going up a staircase, sometimes the checkpoint will be like multiple times during the stairs. Okay, so here's a figure from my past.
I like the way all this looks.
That's the thing. I think it looks gorgeous. It controls well. I like the stuff they did with the story. It never like beats you over the head too hard with it. It's not like, hey, this thing was her mom. Like it clearly is.
Right.
Yeah. No real dialogue outside of those opening things where Seed of Evil type stuff.
This looks like it'd be super cool in 3D as well if there were like a virtual reality version where all this red and crazy stuff were jumping out at you.
How about this? What if we did a photo mode?
What's up with your menus? You just ruined everything.
Way to put it in dev
beautiful
mode, man.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah,
I'm adjusting the bokeh.
Oh no, man, you're harshing my.
You don't want the bokeh?
All these numbers and stuff. You went from 0 UI to all the UI.
I'm creating beauty, Vinny.
Okay.
Dun,
dun, dun.
Beauty is made with math.
Got
I don't know
money,
if you know that.
Got my money in my hand. Remember that song?
Not at all.
Paper airplanes.
What do you know? Is this a?
It's from Pineapple Express.
Oh, I never saw
yeah.
that. That was the Jonah Hill Likes Weed movie, right?
Yeah, it was the
No,
weed
Jonah
movie.
Hill was not in that
Yeah,
movie.
he was.
Yeah.
Pineapple Express? No.
Yeah, sure.
What?
No,
It's-
you're thinking of
it's-
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen
Seth
and Jonah Hill.
Rogen and Kenny Powers, Danny
no.
McBride.
Jonah
yes,
Hill-
Kenny Powers is in it. It's Seth
Jonah Hill's
Rogen,
totally
it's
in
James
that.
Franco.
Oh yeah, James Franco.
and Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill's not in that movie.
Jonah
Hill is
Hill's gotta
basically
be in it.
stapled to the back of Seth Rogen. You just don't. He just
He's
didn't
not-
turn around all
Okay.
the time.
Or at all.
Any movie that Seth Rogen is in, Jonah Hill is
That's
really
100%.
secretly there.
That is
Yeah.
100% not true.
He just has to lift up his shirt, and there's Jonah Hill right on there. Hi.
Speaking of Jonah Hill,
No.
Found.
Yeah.
Jonah Hill
He actually
fantastic.
voices the main character. The
Obviously.
grunts and the jumps and everything. He did the mocap. Yeah, very graceful man. So yeah, it's basically this. You can do it in any order you want. There is a speed run thing that opens up afterwards. But yeah, like the levels have different themes. Like, oh, okay, here's the paper airplane one. The next one will be like a lot of pearls, basically.
Oh, you missed it.
I died.
Jeez, that's
But
kind of
that's-
violent.
But also exactly like there you are again, back,
Yep.
stretching out.
Alex, are you a dancer?
I am not. My mom was a professional dancer
Really?
for like 30 years.
No shit.
Yeah, so she was a ballerina with the San Francisco Ballet Company. She started out in Los Angeles when she was a teenager. Like left home at like 14 to go do this full time, and
That sounds so hard.
it was, yeah, like it was brutal. And you know, the dance world is a highly competitive one, so you know, she fucking worked her ass off to get to where she was.
What are her thoughts
That's
on was it Black Swan? What was the
I made her watch it, and she really liked it.
Okay.
She's like, this. I mean, the competitive aspects they portray in this
Yeah.
movie are maybe like not too far off from reality,
Not
but
the-
also this movie is completely bonkers. But I love it.
Well, so
Okay.
wait, that was Aronofsky, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I never saw that, but I was really impressed when he did The Wrestler. I remember seeing the trailers and like, oh man, I hope this isn't some Hollywood movie that like totally gets the wrestling industry wrong. And then it surprisingly was pretty accurate. So I wonder if he kind of did the same thing with Black Swan, where it's like, hey, here's this weird world, like let's try to make it somewhat
Black
accurate.
Swan is a lot more. I don't know how to describe it any better other than like psychedelic. Like it's kind of an examination of madness and obsession.
in the world of
Yeah,
dance.
so it definitely doesn't feel nearly as grounded as something like The Wrestler.
Okay,
which-
The Wrestler felt pretty grounded.
Yeah, The Wrestler was definitely much more grounded in an identifiable reality. But you know, some of the aspects of the dance world in that movie were not, you know, not totally off base.
Okay.
But yeah, no. But I retain none of that dancing ability. Like my rhythmic abilities extend to playing drums, and that is it.
I don't even have that.
Yeah.
You've got one up on me there.
And I don't have that natural affinity at all. Like it took me years and years to learn how to play drums like halfway decently.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never had the desire to dance.
like to move your body.
No. Oh, I mean like to walk to the office and stuff.
No,
Yes,
but like
I
to
have
move your
do
body,
that.
body
But like as an
rhythmic-
expressive
rhythmically.
I mean, I'll bob my head or whatever if I'm
Right.
listening to some like James
Yeah.
Brown song. Like, yeah, all right, this has got
Tap-
a nice beat to it.
Tap the steering wheel or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Put
Some of that.
Put the arm out the car, elbow on the windowsill, and the hand on the roof, and start tapping.
Maybe some of that. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
No, this guy's
Mom.
on your team.
Yeah. But yeah, never like you hear so many people that are just like, oh, I just love, I have to dance.
feel
Like,
it.
yeah,
Dance.
yeah. I can't hear a beat and not dance. It's like, oh no, I never want to dance. Ever.
I have nothing but the utmost respect for people who can and do dance with regularity and, you know, that have worked to improve their craft. Also, I have spent years trying to get over my childhood total disinterest in dance stuff because my mom would, like... I
Were
was
you
a little
immersed
kid.
in it?
Yeah, she would make me go to ballet things all the time, and it was not a thing that worked for me as a kid at all. So I kind of resented it at a point.
Huh.
I got over that eventually, but you know, as a little kid, you're just like, I don't like this. I don't want to see this. I don't want to deal with this.
Did you just see it as like was it like taking a kid to like a theater or like a musical or something? Or
Yes.
Something that the kid would think is boring?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
just bored with it, so I didn't want to engage with it.
All right.
I love everything about music and dance.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is
there's
Vinny
some-
a dancer?
No, but there's something very human I find
Oh,
about
yeah.
rhythms and beats, like your heartbeat and the like wanting to hear another beat, and like you just see people start bobbing their head. Like, why is
Yeah.
that? Why do people move? Why has that been a human thing forever? And like, banging out beats and stuff and wanting to dance. It seems so crazy, right?
Yeah.
But then it's like the most human thing in the world.
But it seems like they're having a really good time. So, like, yeah, part of me does think, like, am I just missing some giant part of humanity here by never dancing
But
ever?
like almost every human culture has some kind of dance and music, and it's like that's amazing to me. And
I mean, I think how you choose to engage with stuff like, music and rhythm and, art and self-expression, that stuff, like, it doesn't have to be that one form. Like, yes, dance is a fairly universal thing that, like you said, all cultures in some way sort of engage with, but, like, it's not your thing, it's not your thing.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying you're any less a human
Yeah.
because you don't dance. I just... The fact that it's a common thread and such a weird, like, if you were to take this in a vacuum as an alien coming down and being like, why are people moving, like, they're spasming in weird ways and, like, just in a trance? And it's like, no, they're dancing.
Yeah.
They're dancing. And they're doing it in a group. Yeah, they dance together. They move around in weird ways together. It's a little odd, but...
Is the dancing in groups mostly like to try to like find someone? Like, when I think of people dancing in groups like at a club or whatever, I just picture, as someone who doesn't go to clubs, a bunch of people trying to like hook up or meet people or whatever.
I mean, there is that aspect to it, but there's also, there are people who just go
enjoy
to dance
it.
and have a good time.
Yeah.
that just being around other people dancing like helps the experience.
Yeah, I mean, not that this is in any way like, so I've been to a couple of raves in my life, and the dancing that goes on at those things is maybe not the same thing as the kind of expression that you see in something like this. But the people who weren't there just to drop E and hook up were definitely just there to because they wanted to feel the
Enjoy
music.
it.
They wanted to have a good time and just sort of let some steam off.
And sometimes there's more energy with more people,
Yeah.
It's like it's a great atmosphere. There's a communal sense of dance.
I guess I get that. Yeah, experiencing things that you like with a group, like my thing is wrestling. Like I like going to it live, and I like seeing the chants and seeing people, react and everything. So yeah, I get that.
You may not. This is a weird thing to say.
Okay.
Wrestling, I think, is in a way kind of a form of dance.
All right, I'll take it.
It's not rhythmic in the way. It doesn't require music, but at the same time, like, there's a choreography to it.
And I would argue there's a cadence and rhythm to some of that stuff.
There absolutely is, and you're working with a partner. It's a form of interpretive dance that just happens to be filtered through athletics.
I mean, they literally call triple threat matches three-way dances.
Exactly, and I think that's what that is.
Okay, I'll take that. Cool. I got a bunch of paper airplanes here.
Yeah.
Are they attacking you?
Yes, they are, and you have to use one of the dance mechanics to sort of fend them off as you're going through here.
The square is the thing that like shoos them off you.
Yeah, dance has just been one of those things that like my family has just been very intensely engaged with. Like my aunt married this guy before I was born, who died not too long. I was pretty young. He was part of Martha Graham's dance company, like back a long time ago, which was like kind of one of the original like big dance theaters. And he never really like
introduced by your mom.
No, like just like the other side of the family.
Just happened to
it just so happened to be that like there are these various figures in my life who have all been involved in major dance companies at times, and it's just again, not a thing I ever personally wanted to engage in, but over the years I've sort of been like, man, it's kind of fascinating that like so much of my family has been involved in this kind of stuff.
Well, Alex, it sounds like it's the family business. Don't you think you should do them proud?
I
mean, we could start a premium series here.
I think if you ever saw how I dance, you would realize that I would not be doing the family proud.
Okay. You learned how to drum.
Yeah, I do that. I can do that.
Like dancing, like you said, Alex, something I respect and admire and actually enjoy watching as well. But yeah, my kids dance. And like that's, again, it's like one of those things that made me rethink it when it was like, we didn't teach them how to dance. Music just came on and they just started dancing to it. And it's like, they don't really, I don't know how much of that they absorb from daycare or TV or something, but boy, there must just be something that's going on. One of those, I'm sure science has researched it somehow and been like, we're not sure.
Some primitive urge, like, that's so cool.
And I love the fact that you have like a drum machine in your body that is, you could listen to your heart and it's pounding out a rhythm, and then people try to recreate that with drums and the whole, anthropological nature of it, like really seeking what's going on there. It's
I've always been especially fascinated by, you see the great musician dancers like Michael Jackson or James Brown, like just watching that stage presence and just like the way they can command an entire audience, not just through their songs but the way they move. Which I guess that carries over to like when I think of Freddie Mercury, I don't think of him as a dancer. But it's got to be a similar thing, right? I mean, it's commanding an audience.
That was my bad. I turned my mic off. We have new things. But he's still, that's the thing, though, is he's still expressing himself through movement. Even if it's not like, a rehearsed dance. Like, he has a way about him and his movement that sort of, expresses what he's feeling in the song. I mean, like Mick Jagger, kind of a similar thing.
Yeah. David Lee Roth.
Yeah, well.
He can kick.
Yeah,
Those are kicks, man.
He's definitely expressing himself.
Self-defense.
But yeah, no, I mean, that's, it's not the same as, traditional dance, but that movement is an expression.
Okay. It's something that I will never be good at, I don't think, but I can appreciate, and, I think probably, 10 years ago, I was probably like, oh, you dance, you're an idiot, why would you go dance, it's so dumb.
Yeah, that's how I was as a kid, totally.
Yeah.
Have you watched much ballet?
No.
So, I don't really get, I don't find ballet all that engaging, but what I do find is the athleticism and the body control.
Oh, yeah, it's insane.
But I think that's maybe why I don't find it entertaining, because I look at it and it just looks so hard. And it looks like years of suffering.
I mean, the numerous knee surgeries my mom has had are proof positive of that.
Man.
Where oh my gosh, you have tuned your body into this incredible machine. You shouldn't be able to hold that pose. Like you were holding it.
It's like when you see some Cirque du Soleil performer, it's like, how do you do this? By the way, real quick, I just want to point out, this is what I'm talking about when you actually see, oh, this is when he got in trouble for throwing airplanes around and breaking a thing.
Yeah, so it's just these little kind of abstract moments brought into clarity.
Yeah.
She's spying on her brother?
I think they got in trouble.
What'd they break?
They caused a mess and made a bunch of paper airplanes.
Not to brag too much about my mom, but the thing that I've always been amazed by is that she hasn't really stopped.
Hey,
even she's 70 years old now, and
you never brag too much about one's mom.
I mean, so after she gave up ballet, I mean, she didn't give it up. She went to teaching for a long time, teaching kids how to dance. She got into flamenco dancing after that.
Wow.
And did that for 15 years.
Do you have to have the big dress for that?
It's kind of part and parcel with the whole thing.
That's like if you're going to go to a karate class, you better get a gi, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And now she does Tai Chi.
Oh,
which is, not dance exactly, but it's, it's that kind of body control and movement, and she has found a great deal of additional energy by doing that.
Cool. I had no idea about that part of your family's history.
I got a weird family, man.
my one experience.
Don't we all, though?
Yeah.
My upbringing in terms of ballet, I'm sure I've told this story before. By the way, every level ends with something like this, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is my grandpa brought up ballet and explained it to me as it was tippy toe crap.
Right. Yes, I remember this.
Which he used to describe ballet because they literally stand on their tippy toes. But that was his kind of catch-all for anything artsy or pretentious. It was like, oh, you're gonna go to a play, it's a bunch of tippy toe crap.
It's so funny because it's the difference for me between like a fantastic ballet dancer and a fantastic martial artist are just that one is doing it to strike people. The body control and the discipline seems so similar. From my time in martial arts and my time talking to people who have to just train for ballet, it seems so similar.
One is notably better if you're getting mugged.
Right.
Ballet.
I don't know ballet.
You do one of those jumping, kind of splits. You can kick a dude in the face with that.
That's true, yeah. Or just distract them until the cops show up.
Gosh, when they do the stuff where it's just the slow bends on one leg that are just achingly slow, and they're not jerking, and I crawl up into my seat because it's just my God.
Well, that's not just
I
physical.
Can't even get up without moaning anymore.
Yep. That's not just physical either. That's so impressive, mentally, because the amount of focus it has to take. That's fucking nuts. So yeah, that's amazing.
It really is. This mocap is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We've talked a lot about dance, not necessarily about this game, but just the movement in this game. Obviously there are moments where you can just kind of dance and fuck around, but I don't know. There's a flow to it, and there's the way that the motion capture is done that I've always found very impressive. Since the first demo of this game I saw.
Yeah.
And I don't know, as a short form thing, I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's $20, but I think you know, I don't know.
Done with that.
The production of it, I think, is impressive enough to where I feel confident recommending this game based on that.
Yeah, I think it's really well done. I beat it this week. It's pretty short. You can beat it in a couple hours.
She's got to come to grips with her own parental stuff before she has a kid.
I guess that's kind of implied, yeah. And then you're working your way towards, you know, this house here, and you know, who
I think
knows
I'm gonna
what's
make
in
my
there.
mom play this game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's simple enough mechanically. I mean, there's some jumps or whatever, but
She should name all the moves.
Yes.
That would be interesting. Because they all have names, right?
I think so.
All have crazy long French names. Are you just going to walk into the
Yep.
ocean? Hey, you're pregnant.
Oh.
Well,
you
I
can't-
can't.
there are
can't-
limits to how far you can go.
You can't
Yeah.
you can't just think about yourself anymore. Dan.
That's true. That's true. I'm eating for two. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's pretty short, but I liked it. I think it was an effective way of telling the story they wanted to tell. Yeah, I think it's a cool thing. If you like the visuals and you like kind of the way this is all structured, and you don't mind it being pretty short, I'd say go ahead and check
And
it
you
out.
said this is actually Sony Santa Monica, you said?
Well,
Yeah,
they produced
it's-
it, yeah.
Okay, so
yeah,
this is
it's a
PlayStation
plastic.
exclusive, I assume.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. The developer is Plastic.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Netherlands.
Oh,
or
that's cool. Look
something.
at that idle animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the water.
No, it's a cool little thing. So check it
Awesome.
out if
Right on.
you're intrigued by this.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.